All right, today we're going on a safari, but not to any place you'll find on Earth. We're headed to a world with no ground to stand on, winds that would tear our planet apart, and a sky that just never ends. Yeah, we're going to Jupiter, and we're asking a pretty wild question. Could something actually be alive there? So let's start our descent.
I want you to try something. Close your eyes for a second. When I say the word alien, what pops into your head? Come on, be honest. Is it kind of humanoid? Maybe some big eyes, 2 arms, 2 legs? If so, you're not alone. That's pretty much what decades of movies and TV have wired us to expect.
But what if science is telling us to think, well, way stranger? The sci-fi alien, right? It's basically a twist on us, a creature made for solid ground. But the scientific possibility for a world like Jupiter? Oh, that's something else entirely. We're talking about a life form that exists only in the atmosphere, built on rules so bizarre we might not even recognize it as life at all.
Okay, but before we can even begin to imagine this kind of life, we have to respect the environment. We need to understand the world it would have to survive in. And let me tell you, Jupiter is hostile. So let's start our journey down into what really feels like an impossible world.
And this chart, wow, it just lays it all out, doesn't it? I mean, look at the difference. We're on this cozy little rocky world with, a nice breeze. Jupiter, it's a gas giant. The gravity's trying to crush you, the winds are ripping past at 400 miles an hour. But it's that last row. That's the one that changes everything. No solid surface at all.
And the air itself, you can't even call it air. Forget nitrogen and oxygen. Jupiter's atmosphere is pretty much all hydrogen and helium. The lightest, simplest stuff in the entire universe. It's less like the air we breathe and more like the fuel that powers a star. Then you've got the gravity, the sheer crushing weight of it all, 2.5 times Earth's gravity. Just try to imagine feeling more than twice as heavy as you do right now, every single second of your life. Any living thing there would have to be unbelievably tough just to not get pancaked.
But this is the real kicker, the single biggest challenge. In the endless, swirling atmosphere of Jupiter, if you stop flying, if you stop floating, you just fall. And you keep falling for miles and miles through pressures that would crush a submarine and temperatures that would melt steel until you're just gone. There is no bottom. There's nowhere to land.
So, faced with all that, the crushing gravity, the crazy winds, the endless fall, how could anything possibly survive? Well, it turns out, even in an abyss like this, there are rules, and if life can figure out how to follow them, it might just stand a chance.
And that really is the heart of the puzzle, isn't it? In a world that is basically a bottomless pit, how do you live? Survival here isn't about being strong or fast like we think of it. No, it's about one thing: conquering the fall itself.
And this leads us to what you could call the 3 commandments of life on Jupiter. Rule number 1, stay afloat. You have to master buoyancy. You have to be a living airship. Rule 2, find energy. You need fuel, either from the faint sunlight filtering through the clouds or by literally eating the chemicals in the atmosphere. And rule number 3, think big. I mean, really big. In a giant's world, scale is your best friend. Now, if you follow these rules, you can start to imagine what might live there. And that's exactly what the legendary scientists Carl Sagan and Edwin Salpeter did. They dreamed up an entire ecosystem. So let's go meet these incredible hypothetical creatures of the clouds.
Okay, first up, meet the floaters. And when I say they're big, I don't think you're grasping the scale. We're talking about continent-sized living balloons. Just imagine a biological gas bag, miles wide, just peacefully drifting on the currents, like a majestic whale in some kind of cosmic ocean.
And their biology would be just beautifully simple. They're basically organic hot air balloons. They take in the atmosphere, filter out the heavier stuff, and keep the super light hydrogen to stay buoyant. They just float there, grazing on sunlight and atmospheric chemicals, living these slow, passive lives on the endless winds.
But you know how it goes. Where you have peaceful grazers, you're going to have predators. So say hello to the hunters. And these things would be the total opposite of the slow, gigantic floaters. They'd be smaller, built for speed, super streamlined to cut through that thick, soupy atmosphere.
Yeah, think of them as jet-propelled hunters, the sharks of Jupiter's sky ocean. They wouldn't be trying to eat a whole floater. That's impossible. Their goal would be to get in, puncture that massive life-sustaining gas bag, and feed on the rich organic stuff inside. And just like that, you have a complete and honestly a pretty plausible food web.
You've got sunlight and atmospheric chemicals as the base energy source. This creates a kind of organic smog that microscopic sinkers feed on. Then the huge floaters graze on these fields of sinkers. And finally, the agile hunters prey on the floaters. It's a totally self-contained ecosystem, thriving high in the clouds of a gas giant. Amazing.
Okay, let's pull up and ascend from this incredible world for a minute, because this whole safari of the mind, it tells us something really important. It's about way more than just a cool sci-fi concept.
You know, we have this powerful bias, a subconscious one, to look for life that looks like us, on planets that look like ours. But this whole idea is a perfect reminder that the universe doesn't really care about our expectations. Life can be way more creative and way more resilient than we give it credit for.
So, here's the crucial point, the biggest takeaway from all of this. We have to stop looking for mirrors of Earth out there. This isn't just about Jupiter. It's about changing the entire way we search for life in the cosmos. Maybe, just maybe, the reason we feel so alone is that we're simply not looking for the right kind of life in the right kind of places.
And that leaves us with this one last, absolutely awe-inspiring question. If life, if biology, could find a way to solve the puzzle of Jupiter, a world of endless falling and unimaginable storms, then what place out there is truly off limits? Where can't life exist? The answer might just be nowhere at all. Thanks for coming on this trip with me.